You're live. All right, guys. What is going on? As always, this is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. It is Thursday night. It is Thursday, September 20th, 2018, and we are live once again for my weekly special stream of the week, a top 10 stream, of course, as usual. Now, this is a topic I've been wanting to do for quite some time. And a lot of people might think it may be because recently they've been teasing Shawn Michaels returning. Even though Shawn Michaels returning is most likely going to mean a tag team match with Triple H and HBK against Kane and The Undertaker or the Birds of Destruction at WWE Crown Jewel, which I have no interest in watching at all whatsoever. That or Super Showdown. I mean, Super Showdown may check out a few matches, I keep saying, but so people think like that's the reason why I am doing this topic. The top 10 dream opponents for the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania himself, Shawn Michaels. But that actually is not the reason why I chose to do this. I chose to do this topic based off of somebody on this list that I've really gotten behind from on a certain brand. And it's not Buddy Murphy. Let's put it that way. I know I've raved about Buddy Murphy a lot this year, but there is somebody else in WWE that has really shown a lot to me that makes me think of the showstopper himself, which is why, of course, I included this person on this list, and he is towards the top. And that's what gave me the idea, and I've been wanting to do this topic for quite a while now. So I want to do this one tonight. And let's see what people have to say about it in the live chat whenever that happens. So check the live chat real quick here. Is anybody here yet? I forgot to load it before. Let's see here. Who do we got? We got Robbie One Kenobi. Well, Robbie, he's going Adam Cole, baby! Yes, guys, I do apologize also for being a little late. I was trying to finish my Evolution printed match card, which check that out if you guys get a chance. Of course, my match card views this year have been down a little bit, guys. Usually I get a good couple thousand views on those. And this year, the most I've gotten is 4,500 views for my Backlash match card. Guys, that show sucked. And it has the most views out of any of my match cards I have posted this year. My Hell in a Cell one was only 65 views. No, I'm sorry. As goal does go. So let's shoot a goal. Let's get the Evolution match card to at least 1,000 views. So get that going, guys. 1,000 views for the Evolution match card. But on that note, though, let us get started here. And I want to give you my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels if he were ever to have one more match. And I do not have Undertaker on this list because it is pretty obvious that it seems that the only person that Shawn Michaels would wrestle, again, if he would come out of retirement, would be The Undertaker. But here are 10 other performers that I think, have a history and a good story with Shawn, the build up with Shawn Michaels to have a story. And there is one specific person. He's not my number one, but there's one person again who, seeing what this guy has done this year, has made me want to do this list. So I actually will do that person last, even though this person will not be my number one, but I will do that person last. But let's get right into this list and let's see what we got here going here. First off, we got Robbie in the live chat. You must know that I'm hooked on Leo Rush's theme song. He goes, Mike, cake to collect. I just love Leo Rush and his theme music. I just wish they wouldn't, have him being a face on Raw and a heel on 205 Live. Because again, 2018 has been the year of, two face or two roles for each person, apparently. Just ask, Drake Maverick, Leo Rush, Brie Bella, all of them. But anyways, let's get started with my list. So guys, here are my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels. Number 10 is the show stealer himself, Dolph Ziggler. Now, of course, Dolph Ziggler has been underutilized for how many years? But this year in 2018, putting him on Raw and having him team up with Drew McIntyre has kind of been a blessing in disguise for him because it has made him feel relevant again. It has helped Drew McIntyre feel relevant as well. And of course, simply put, I think, the style he has wrestling, the showstopper and the show stealer, I think that could be a pretty good slogan for a match with two guys think I have similar styles. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler can say he's the show stealer and he is the guy, the true like master of the super kick or whatnot, if you want to go that far and telling the story as well. But I think with these guys similar styles, these guys probably can wrestle either is kind of type of wrestler whatsoever. And I think with their mixing styles, the super kick and whatnot. Of course, Dolph Ziggler as a babyface could show a lot of heart when he was a babyface. Of course, as a heel, I think he's more meant to be a cocky heel, whatnot, because it's finally starting to work for him this year. Even though now he's paired with Braun Strowman, which that is hindering him. As the heel for Strowman, we're not going to talk about that as well at all. But I just think similar styles. Again, you could be the showstopper versus the show stealer, and kind of like Dolph Ziggler is just determined to make a name for himself by beating Shawn Michaels with Shawn Michaels' own finishing move, the super kick. Even though we're Shawn Michaels, it would be called Sweet Chin Music. But that's why he's my number 10 on this list, which is Dolph Ziggler is my number 10 for my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels. Number 9 is someone else who I basically think just has similar styles with I lost train of thought with Shawn Michaels, and I think he could put on like a good, high flying match with him as well. Of course, that means he'd have to go back to his babyface character, like especially if it was from his back in his days in NXT. I think he can have a pretty good classic with Shawn Michaels and hang with him pretty well. And that, of course, is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, of course, was like the underdog from the underground, whatever they called him in NXT. They brought him to main roster. Of course, he was doing all right, but then unfortunately he beat Kevin Owens in the rivalry. And then what did he do? He went on to pre-shows. He feuded with Braun Strowman, which that wasn't too bad. That's a good way to get Braun Strowman going a little bit more as a true big man, even though in his feud Roman Reigns, well, that's Braun Strowman. Now I'm talking about Sami Zayn here. The Sami Zayn has turned heel. Yes, it doesn't feel like his wrestling has changed that much. I mean, he's a lot more, his mic skills have shown pretty good. Although his last feud with Bobby Lashley before he went to go get his rotator cuffs fixed really brought him down, I felt. But I think, if you have him get back on form with the NXT, I can see him putting on a 5-star classic with the showstopper himself, Shawn Michaels. He's had classic discs like Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, in Nakamura's NXT debut. So it was an unreal night. Literally, both of them made Cho look like a god. And I think that style can easily mix in and have I really do think a Shawn Michaels and Sami Zayn match when done right could be on the same level as Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn from NXT TakeOver Dallas 2016. It's not too likely we may ever see Sami get back to that level again, but I personally think that that Sami Zayn would be a great choice to be an opponent for Shawn Michaels if Shawn Michaels were to have one more match. So that's why he is my number 9. My number 8. So most of these wrestlers here I have on this list are similar in style pretty much. And I feel like, the stories can be told behind. But I feel like, of course, Shawn Michaels obviously can go at with a big man also. And, of course, going back to the pact of similar styles, even though this guy is 6'2", 282 pounds, again, I've always rated about how agile he is for his size. Again, as I said, this guy, which, of course, I'm talking about right now, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe literally did a flying enziguri to Seth Rollins' head in blue jeans on his and on his main roster debut, and that vicious beatdown he did on Seth Rollins, being Seth Rollins' destroyer after ordered by Triple H. And of course, I'm sure another opponent besides just like a high flyer, or just a guy who shows a lot of heart, and Shawn Michaels could definitely hang with someone like Samoa Joe as well. I think again, I I just really think Joe would be a good bigger man the feud with Shawn Michaels, because I know Michaels probably even put Joe over as good also, but I know that Joe would definitely push Michaels to the limit. I mean, I'm not sure what a story could be behind all this, but of course it'd be just Joe, trying just to make a face, just a big man just looking to get to wherever he wants to do. And if he has to go through legends, he'll go through that and take it on Shawn Michaels. I mean, he could even this might be a little rough, but kind of have like a feud as far as right now with the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe feud, a Samoa Joe and Shawn Michaels feud. It could be on the same kind of a similar storyline as far as what happened with Jeff Hardy and CM Punk. I mean, I know Punk kind of attacked Hardy about his drug issues. What if Samoa Joe tries to dig into Shawn Michaels' past, as I can definitely see that being something that Joe would attack somebody for. I think it would work for me, by my opinion. I think it would be an interesting storyline, and also really put over Joe as well against the Hall of Famer. So that's why I say Samoa Joe is my number 8 on this list for my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels. So that is my number 8. Number 7. Now, this guy probably could have been a lot higher if he was booked a lot better on the main roster. And I'm going to talk about this guy, as I mentioned. I'll do this video either tonight or tomorrow. But I do want to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura more in depth in the video. Shinsuke Nakamura is not on the level whatsoever he was in NXT on a main roster. Yeah, his matches have been all right. He's not put on awful showings, but he's just nowhere close to he was down in NXT. And if Sami Zayn can bring out the best in Shinsuke Nakamura and make him look like a god, imagine if Shinsuke Nakamura was wrestling back in Shawn Michaels' era, and Michaels putting on matches again. Michaels could easily put a match with Shinsuke against guys like how he did with The Undertaker or Kurt Angle, Triple H, Chris Jericho. I really think that we'd be seeing a repeat of NXT TakeOver Dallas's Nakamura and Zayn with Nakamura and Shawn Michaels. Again, their styles are very similar with wrestling, hard hitting and whatnot. I really think these two could put on a classic if they ever had a chance. This would be a true WrestleMania worthy match. Like I think a Shinsuke Nakamura, again, the Shinsuke Nakamura got an NXT and Shawn Michaels, you can't do that anywhere else except for WrestleMania, which would be freaking awesome. But I highly doubt we'll ever get this match. And again, Shinsuke's not booked as well as he was on NXT, so it's a little bit lower on this list. But I still think he would put on an unreal match, having Shinsuke Nakamura on the level god as he was down in NXT. So that's why he is on my list. But only number 7, Shinsuke Nakamura is my number 7 on this list. Number 6. This one would be a good storyline. And the storyline is very simple. The man who was once the icon of NXT taking on the Heartbreak Kid, Finn Balor, versus Shawn Michaels. Once again, another similar style as well. The ways to wrestle, the drop kicks, high flying and whatnot. And heck, if you want to even go a little bit step further, how about this? What if that's how the Balor Club would form? I mean, the Balor Club already did kind of form. Man, just like it was just there when I was on Raw earlier this year. But I remember when I first met Gene from the BS podcast, he booked some suggestion of Finn Balor turning heel at WrestleMania by having him and Gallows and Daters that teamed up to beat the Undertaker. Well, what if Finn Balor kind of did the same thing, except he did it to Shawn Michaels? Because he's pushing, he's as the demon, he's embraced the demon, and he's going out of his way to push Shawn Michaels to take in his inner demon as well, and throw away all of his reasons why he has stayed retired, and he stuck to it, and forced him to come out of retirement and have this match to try to overcome Finn Balor. and it could be a way for Finn Balor to become a top heel as well. And if he would get, a big victory over the showstopper, because the Icon wants to overcome the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania himself, and make a name off of him. I think it would be a pretty epic feud. Having Demon Finn Balor, like heel Finn Balor, embraced with the Demon, taking on Shawn Michaels. I think that could release some pretty interesting stories as well. And of course, Balor could even, attack HBK about his past as the heel Demon if he wanted to go that far, for him to make a name off himself. Again, the match I think would be amazing. Their styles fit very well. And that's why he's on my list here at number 6. Finn Balor is my number 6 for my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels. But that is my number 6. Let's go over 10 to 6 again. You don't know he's in the live chat, which is fine. Number 10 was Dolph Ziggler. Number 9 was Sami Zayn. Number 8, Samoa Joe. Number 7 was Shinsuke Nakamura. And number 6 was Finn Balor. Number 5, someone else who has a very similar style to Finn Balor that I think would be able to put on a great match with Shawn Michaels is Seth freaking Rollins. Of all members of the Shield that I think could put on a classic with Shawn Michaels, I mean, maybe Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns possibly, but to me, I feel the one that would tear the house down, that would burn it down, is Seth freaking Rollins. Once again, their styles mesh well together. I mean, to me, was watching him and, what he's established since becoming a more credible babyface, showing a lot of heart in the ring. Obviously, he has his bad knees. He's overcome some of his obstacles and whatnot. And, he was on a mission to try to improve everybody. And he really did mean what he says when he feels that, he didn't need to have Triple H, try to, get him through, which is what the story culminated with at WrestleMania 33. I think him and Shawn Michaels can put on just a classic. It could be a WrestleMania worthy match, all WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I think the styles meshing well together. It could be just one of the things where just, Seth Rollins doesn't have to be like a face or heel dynamic. It could be just, Seth Rollins just simply putting, just wanted to, make a name for himself. And he wants to see if he can beat the showstopper himself, Shawn Michaels, at WrestleMania. Because put it this way, as I've mentioned how many times, to me, of all the active stars who are, still in the earlier years, well, Seth Rollins, he's been around now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. WrestleMania 29, 30, 1, 2, 6 WrestleManias now he's been around. Well, actually, I'm sorry, 5, because he wasn't there for WrestleMania 32. But think about this. And like people who are only around for like 5 years so far for WrestleManias, I still think Seth Rollins has the best resume out of anybody at WrestleMania. I personally do. In that time span. Just think about it again. It's 2 years with the Shield at WrestleMania. They did what they could with the Shield over. WrestleMania 31. Yeah, he lost to Randy Orton, put on a great match, and he had the heist of the century to cash in. WrestleMania 33, despite the match being a little too long, him and Triple H still put on a good show, and of course, he beat Triple H. Then last year, of course, in the great opener of a triple threat match for the IC title, Seth Rollins won the IC title there as well. So obviously, he wants to prove that he is the new Mr. WrestleMania. So he needs to defeat who was previously known as Mr. WrestleMania, and the Heartbreak Kid himself, Shawn Michaels. I think it would work out great. So that's why it's my number 5 on this list. Number 4, Ricochet. King Ricochet himself. The guy could do some unbelievable moves. And I guess a similar story to what happened with what I mentioned with Seth Rollins. Ricochet obviously will be a huge star when he gets on the main roster. Hopefully, as long as they don't screw him up and just go overboard, just overexpose him because of all the flips he could do, for crying out loud. Obviously, though, Ricochet's a big name. I think he could simply be a guy who wants to prove that he is the new, Shawn Michaels. He is the new showstopper. He is the new Heartbreak Kid, whatnot, if you want to put it that way. He is the one that is, is the one and only. And he has to defeat the one who previously was the one and only to, get onto another level as well in Shawn Michaels. With some of, the matches Ricochet's already been able to put on with Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, Pete Dunne as he did last night, a few others. I think, he again could put on an unreal show with the showstopper. And that as well could be a WrestleMania worthy match. Or heck, if you want to go as far as making it a main event of an NXT pay-per-view, be my guest. You'd be creating a legendary moment for the black and yellow brand, I feel. But that is why my number 4 is Ricochet. Now, here's what's going to happen here. I'm going to do my number 3, then we'll do my number 1. Because my number 2 is the guy that personally, seeing what this guy has done this year has made me come up with this idea to do my top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels. But number 3, no doubt about it, Daniel Bryan. If WWE, again, going back to how they had no plans to put the title on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, because we're just supposed to wrestle Sheamus, and that was until CM Punk walked out, and of course, Batista wasn't getting the reaction that everybody had hoped for he'd get when he got back. And Batista even said himself, he's like, it's only going to last like 30 seconds. I'm going to get people hate me. But nope, they wanted him to be this big hero babyface, but nope, did not work. But of course, Daniel Bryan was hoping before he was supposed to wrestle Sheamus at WrestleMania 30. He claimed that, he was hoping to wrestle either Triple H or Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels had screwed him out at Hell in a Cell. They do a whole teacher versus student thing. I would have been for that. And you know what? You can still somehow do that as well. Well, then again, of course, Daniel Bryan overcame all those obstacles. But I'm pretty sure a teacher versus student match would be pretty darn awesome to see, since Daniel Bryan was trained by Shawn Michaels. They do have somewhat of a history. So, like all these other guys, not just similar styles, but easily Daniel Bryan just wants to, prove that, he has one of the biggest WrestleMania moments, and he claims he wants to have an even bigger one by having a chance to defeat the man who trained him as a wrestler in Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania in the main event, if you know what I mean. Could be the case there, but that's, obviously, they kind of teased it before. I really think they could go through with it and have Shawn Michaels wrestle Daniel Bryan. It'd be an unreal match, and I'd pay good money to see that. But that's why that is my number 3 on my list. Now, my number 2, again, I'm going to save my number 2 for last, because my number 2 is the guy that personally made me think of this person. Made me think of doing a Shawn Michaels list. I was going to put this guy as my number 1 because my number 1 is too obvious. But obviously, I feel like that no one can overpower, what the number 1 choice is. So let's skip number 2 and go to number 1. Number 1, no doubt about it, the top person in WWE right now that needs to have a match with Shawn Michaels is a phenomenal AJ Styles. He tried coming into the WWE in the early 2000s, of course, did not happen. I heard rumors that they were trying to get it happen for the Royal Rumble one year. I believe it was Royal Rumble 2017. Unfortunately, it did not go through. But, AJ Styles is probably the one that's the king of put on 5-star matches when given the opportunity to go all out, pretty much. It's obvious he's pretty much the new Shawn Michaels. It's going to get to a point where AJ Styles is not going to need to win a championship anymore to still put on great matches. That's happened with Shawn Michaels for most of his, second run when he returned from his back injury. He didn't get too many championship runs, but he was just putting on great matches against the likes of, Hulk Hogan, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton. He feuded with Triple H, but they get the title involved in some ways. And of course, The Undertaker as well. Chris Jericho probably said one already. But that's going to be the same case for AJ Styles. It could be pretty much another repeat of Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. AJ Styles just wanted to know if he could beat the showstopper as well. And I think, of course, that is pretty much, nothing else but a main event for WrestleMania whenever they would pull the strings on it to do it. But that's why he's my number one on the list, is AJ Styles. Of course, is pretty much the number one person to face Shawn Michaels if Shawn Michaels were ever to have one more match. But of course, I skipped number two because number two is the guy that, again, has shown me a lot this year. And again, someone I knew that was talented, but thanks to Triple H taking over this division, this guy, was in the match at WrestleMania against Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander is an honorable mention. But personally, the guy who, made me think of this idea of a top 10 dream opponents with Shawn Michaels. And I feel like this guy is definitely someone I would love to see face Shawn Michaels someday, is Mustafa Ali. That's why he's my number two on the list. It's simple. The heart of 205 Live. He has not won a championship yet on 205 Live, of course. But he has put on some of the best matches we've seen on the Cruiserweight division all year against the likes of Buddy Murphy. He had a great match with Cedric Alexander at WrestleMania. Hideo Itami, he had a great match with as well. A couple others out there, but this guy literally can pull off like the same story as someone who just shows a lot of heart and does not, and it is so tough to put him down like he is. And the times that you do beat him, your opponents like they really had to work to do so. That's exactly what Shawn Michaels, wanted in his matches. Just ask Kurt Angle in his WrestleMania 21 masterpiece. Him and Shawn Michaels put on was just unreal. It took Angle about 7 minutes for him to get Shawn Michaels to tap out. Mustafa Ali, again, just comes across as that guy. He's not going to go down easily, but he shows a lot of heart in the ring. And just seeing the way he wrestles, and the way he's supposed to come across some guy who really, refuses to quit and whatnot. Maybe see the thing of the Heartbreak Kid. And I personally, even though AJ Styles is no doubt about the number one choice, the one I would pay the most money to probably still see wrestle Shawn Michaels is Mustafa Ali. But that is why he is on this list. And guys, with that, we are already done with this special stream. There was I made a lot of I'll check again in a second though. But that's my list, of course, for my top 10 dream opponents for the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Number 10 was Dolph Ziggler. Number 9 was Sami Zayn. Number 8 was Samoa Joe. Number 7 is Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 6 is Finn Balor. Number 5 is Seth Rollins. Number 4 is Ricochet. Number 3 is Daniel Bryan. Number 2 is Mustafa Ali. And number 1 is the phenomenal AJ Styles. But of course, the biggest name, in my opinion, on this list, and it was the superstar that I feel has slowly shown me a lot of signs of the Heartbreak Kid. And what made me think of doing this list, of course, though, is Mustafa Ali. Let me check my live chat one more time. Yes, I do have Mustafa Ali's theme song on my phone, Robbie, because it is a pretty darn awesome theme. And I definitely say Mustafa Ali is in my top 5 or top 10 of my current wrestlers as well. You gotta go hard, as his theme, they say as his theme song. But Robbie, thank you for joining me in the live chat. As always, guys, I'm getting my quick plug out here for Robbie. Robbie Kenobi always has a lot of great fantasy ideas for the WWE. Always, calls them out, but gives his thoughts on a better match card for like a pay-per-view or even better ideas for storylines coming up. I know he'll definitely get back to doing some again very soon whenever he gets the time. But make sure to check out his channel, watch his videos. If you like the fantasy booking you see for him, you gotta get Robbie trending on Twitter, because he's destined to get into the WWE and be a head writer, kick Vince right out of his chair, take out Road Dogg, and he takes over the whole show with Triple H. So if you like what you see, please get hashtag please sign Robbie trending on Twitter as always. Thank you, Mike. And let me get this in real quick once more. Look at little Flair Jr. Gonna cry. That was still it came out of the blue, but it just fits so perfectly with everything that's going on. Like, we're just we're starting to sour down on Charlotte. But of course, taking the line from Spider-Man 3 with Peter Parker, just laying into Harry Osborn, of course. When he, instead of saying, he goes, "Oh, look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry." It's look at little Flair Jr. Gonna cry. But yes, that's, of course, as always, Robbie, you're awesome. Thank you again for, always giving us a good chuckle in the live chat. And so again, guys, that's it for my special live stream. I know it's kind of short this week, but I did it kind of late. As I was working on my Evolution match card, I tried to check that out as well. So tomorrow, I'll try to do a few tonight, but tomorrow, since I'm kind of going to be chilling before I have people coming over for my birthday, I'm going to try to knock out some topic videos I've been wanting to do for a while on certain things. I might try to do 1 or 2 of them tonight, so stay tuned for that being uploaded. Saturday, I'm going to play an old game on my birthday and then upload a couple, videos of it for it to be a let's play of that. This is an old game I used to play when I was younger. Nothing really too childish or anything, but just something like, hey, I haven't played this in a while. Why not? Let's take a shot. So expect that as well. I think Sunday, and then of course next week back up here for Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, all the fun stuff, and then our special streaming next Thursday as well. So guys, we're your top 10 dream opponents for Shawn Michaels as well. Leave us down in the comment section below as always. And notice to click buy, like, and subscribe when we're coming to my channel. And you may follow me on Twitter as well at the Man Air Barney 3. Guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will most likely be one of my topic videos that I'm definitely wanting to leave out there for discussion. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.